Hello and welcome to 2DTalk's Real Movie News. I'm Jayse and this is your weekly show from 2DTalk where we let you know what's happening in the entertainment world, what stars are making waves, what movies are in production and what movies are on the horizon. Also, I let you know what films are flying or faltering both financially and statistically in the box office dive. So let's start with that. A Quiet Place smashed its way into the box office, beating out estimates to make an estimated $50 million opening to take the #1 spot. Boy, I bet Warner Brothers and Steven Spielberg did not see that coming. It also beat out A Wrinkle in Time, Tomb Raider, Ready Player One, and Pacific Rim Uprising for opening weekends on a budget much smaller than them. And for its genre, it opened bigger than Split, The Conjuring, and Get Out. All of those movies pulled in more than 100 million US domestic when all is said and done. When it comes to its international numbers, the UK shelled out the most cash to see this movie, bringing in 3.6 million. Paramount's little moneymaker received unanimous praise from both critics and audiences alike, getting a B+ cinema score and holding a solid 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie posted impressive Friday night numbers, almost guaranteeing its dominance by the end of the weekend. It had a near 50-50 split between male and female audiences, and 68% of those were over the age of 25. So yeah, as you can see, this movie is anything but quiet. I had to do that pun. Ready Player One still has cause for celebration as it dropped only 40% in its second weekend, bringing in 21 million, taking its domestic total to nearly 97 and its worldwide total to 391 million. It enjoyed a strong word of mouth, which is unusual for a movie that opens on a 4-day weekend, but it's working for it, and it still has Japan to open in. The R-rated comedy Blockers opened in the third spot with 21.4 million, which has its opening on par with Neighbours 2 and outpacing last month's Game Night. The UK is currently the second highest earner for the movie, behind Australia, not taking into account the US. Again, it had a near 50-50 split with audience genders and had a B cinema score. Black Panther is still hanging in there, and in its 8th week it dropped only 27%, bringing in 8.4 million, which now has it passing Jurassic World late last week and now passing Titanic to become the third highest grossing US movie domestically. It's not all sunshine and roses as Pacific Rim dropped another 48% in its third weekend, taking in 4.9 million, bringing its domestic total to 54.9 million and its worldwide to 267 off of a $150 million budget. Currently, 79.4% of its box office is coming from overseas. Now do remember that movies have to basically make double its budget to break even. That's not a success, that's just breaking even. As for the lowest drops of the week, I Can Only Imagine and Sherlock Gnomes take that title by dropping only 20% in their 4th and 3rd weekends respectively. They have clearly capitalized on the Easter break that runs for roughly 2 weeks. Isle of Dogs expanded its theatres by 389 and broke into the top 10. And here in the UK, The Greatest Showman is still going strong. I mention this because I spoke to my mother yesterday, who told me she was going to see the movie for a 2nd time, and said that she had spoken to my mother-in-law, who was going to see the movie for a 4th time. It added more screens last week and remains in our top 10. As for what's out this weekend, Dwayne Johnson is hoping to ride the coattails of Jumanji's success with Rampage, with an estimated $35 million opening. Its date was moved up a week to avoid Avengers Infinity War, much to my mother's joy, as in her eyes, The Rock is her eternal love, and it happens to be her birthday weekend, so that's one hell of a present. So that's it from the box office dive. Be sure to tune in next week for more updates. Let's start with our new story. With all the hoopla over Fox Marvel movies being shuffled and shoved off of many people's most anticipated for this year, the studio revealed the reasons for New Mutants date changes. Now, methinks this is to soften the blow of their decision to move Dark Phoenix and dismiss rumours that both movies are a complete disaster. What the studio has said is that they're going to take the movie into a full horror element that it is intended to be. Why didn't they do this before? Well, they were trying to aim for the young adult market for some reason, not sure why. That ship has sailed. They hired a legion of screenwriters and hired Josh Boone to direct to give it that YA feel. But Boone wanted to stay true to the source material and go the horror route. But he went with what the executives said. Always with the executives, eh? So off we go. Pre-production, principal photography, filming, post-production, but once they started the test screening phase, and only then did the execs realize that they were wrong. The test audiences agreed with, well, the rest of the comic book community and said that the movie clearly needed to be scarier. So here we go, filming no less than 55% of the movie from scratch with a young cast who may have changed considerably since shooting 12 to 18 months ago, giving further problems to any dreamed up sequels. But this is good news. We seem to have been saved from the hapless execs. So rejoice, I say. New Mutants is going to be exactly what we expected from it. Only thing is, we have to wait a while. I will be keeping a close eye on this second wave of filming. And our final story today, Thanos' backstory cut from Infinity War. Okay. It's a tough pill to swallow, I know. So our favourite topic at the moment is Avengers Infinity War. And the latest news is that Thanos' backstory had to be cut from the final edit of the movie due to runtime. Now the movie is already going to be a long one. For me, I say give me 4 hours, give me 5 hours, give me 6 hours of Infinity War. I will gobble it all up. But that is unrealistic if the movie wants to make money. The movie's current runtime at the moment is 2 hours and 40 minutes. That reduces the amount of screenings it can actually have. In an interview with Total Film via Games Radar, one of the directors, Anthony Russo, said, "We were considering showing Thanos' backstory, but ultimately felt it wasn't necessary for the movie." But he did go on to assure fans that Infinity War is still told from Thanos' point of view. I know that some of you will be disheartened by this news, but it makes sense. We have a lot of characters to deal with in this movie, and the fact that Anthony Russo is still saying that this is a Thanos-driven story, to me, his backstory sounds like it was an adage that can be removed from the movie without ruining it as a whole. We already know that he's from a planet called Titan that is no longer inhabited because his people did something to wipe themselves out. He believed and still believes that he could have done something to prevent it, but he was not allowed to do so. He has sworn to never let this happen again. He sees the universe to be in a complete mess, with life throughout it expanding unchecked, and he believes that if not handled, it will destroy life and the universe itself. So we know his motivations. Plus, these deleted scenes will be available on the Blu-ray. Current tracking has the movie opening between 175 to 200 million at the moment, but I believe that this number will rise in the coming weeks. I just recently saw the latest TV spot for the movie, and Okoye's lines at the end of that spot are priceless. Also, if you pause it just right, you can see that Thanos emerges from a portal into Wakanda created by the Space Stone. He is in possession of a little orange stone in the gauntlet, and that is of course the Soul Stone. So that set the internet ablaze with the realization that the Soul Stone isn't in Wakanda but somewhere else. Just type in Infinity War chant TV spot into YouTube and you will find it. My question to you is Thanos' backstory that important? Is what we've been told so far enough? Should we have faith that Feige and company know what they're doing? Certainly they have the track record, right? So that's it from 2DTalk's Real Movie News. Please comment below, let us know about any of the topics or the box office dive. Please like, share, and of course subscribe. So that's it. Take care of yourselves. Until next week, bye bye.